Good afternoon, guys. How are you?
Fine, teacher. Thank you.
Hi. Good
Hi.
afternoon.
Okay, well, let's start with today's class. Yesterday we finished the grammar part. So today we are going to continue. So I'm going to ask you to please go to the topic 9.1 incredible weather, please. 9.1 incredible weather.
We open this part.
Yes, please. It's reading.
Maybe one incredible.
Okay, so it says in here, incredible weather. This lesson is intentional. Okay, so it says in here, part 1, warm up. Discuss the following questions with a partner or group. So let's talk about this. Where do you think are the coldest places in the world? So I hear you guys, tell me, where do you think are the coldest places in the world?
The North Pole.
The North Pole, okay.
Maybe Alaska.
Alaska. I didn't know, to be honest. Well, I mean, I know now, but it was like, I don't know, a few years ago when I discovered that Alaska was in the USA. So it was part of the USA.
For Canada, right?
Yeah, Alaska is a state of the USA. It's an state.
And it's weird because it's not in the same territory, right? But when...
No, it's in the north. It's beyond Canada.
Yes. Okay, Alaska, the North Pole. Another cold place that you have read or heard about?
In Chile.
Okay, Chile? Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Have you been there?
No.
Oh.
But la cordillera de los Andes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Entonces también sería Argentina.
Okay. Isela, what about you? What is a cold place that you know or you've heard about?
I was thinking in Alaska, but they say it.
What about the Antarctic? The Antarctica, it's also another very cold place we probably read about. Okay, now let's go to the opposite. It says in here, what are the hottest places in the world? Let's make a top 3. Which one will take the 3rd place?
Sonora Desert.
That's Sonora.
California.
For example.
Okay. Another?
Sahara Desert.
The Sahara Desert. Okay, yeah. So those 3, let's say Sonora, California, or Arizona could be also, and Sahara, right? Okay. Now it says, what are the hottest, coldest, and driest places in your country? Okay, let's talk about Mexico. Which do you think is the hottest state or place?
I think Sonora.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. What about the coldest?
Maybe Durango.
Okay, Durango.
Chihuahua.
Chihuahua, yeah, it's cold, Chihuahua, right? And what about the driest places?
Sonora again.
Sonora too.
Yeah, it's like a mix, right? Dry with hot, dry and hot. Okay. Now, are deserts always hot?
No.
No, really? Okay.
No.
Do you have any deserts where you're from? Well, yes, right? We kind of live
in the night and the desert are very cold.
It's very cold actually, right? And that's, I think that here in Sonora, we only have the different types of weather. Or it is freaking hot or freaking cold. So there's no like nothing in the middle.
Yes.
We can have like only days. We can have days of very nice weather, but only days. I don't think they last months or like that. Okay, so then let's go and read. It says part 2 reading. Open the exercise to begin the activity. So I have shared it with you. Now you're able to open it. And let's see the instructions. It says in here, read the text below about 3 places with incredible weather. Okay, before we read it all together, first I want you to read it by your own, okay? I want you to take a look to the reading and then try to answer this. It says in here, below you will find 6 unfinished second conditional sentences about the dry valleys, Lord Desert, in Antarctica. Complete the sentences using the information from above. Okay, before we go and answer, I just want you to take we are going to read it together in order to try to answer the rest of the exercise, okay? So first is just to read it. So take a look to the reading by your own and then we're gonna read it together.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Buenas tardes, teacher. Acabo de entrar, ¿qué es lo que están haciendo?
Okay, don't worry, Anandra, good afternoon. We are reading. Guys, did you finish the reading? It was just reading.
Ah, ok, thank you.
but we're gonna read together. First, I gave them the chance for you to read the reading by your own, and then we're gonna read it and discuss it together. So it is in the 9-1 incredible weather reading.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, guys, ready to read it together?
Yes, teacher.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. And the first reading is the driest place on earth. Okay, we have 3. So let's go and read the first one, the driest place on earth. Susana, can you read the first
Yes.
paragraph, please?
If asked about the driest place in the world, most people would think about the Sahara Desert in Northern Africa and Western Asia, or the Gobi Desert in China and Mongolia. In fact, the driest place in the world is pretty unknown, as it is somewhere most of the population has never been to. This place is actually at the bottom of the world in Antarctica.
Okay, great. Jose, can you read the next paragraph, please?
Yeah. The dry valleys are areas between large mountains that haven't seen rain for nearly 2 million years. Even though the continent of Antarctica gets a lot of snow, the dry valleys do not have winds as strong as 320 kilometers per hour, remove all water and dampness from the air. In addition to being the world's driest place, the dry valleys are also known as the world's biggest desert.
Okay, desert, world biggest desert. Very good.
Yes.
Now let's go to the hottest place on earth. Isela, can you read it, please?
Yes, teacher. The highest temperature ever recorded on a plate took place in the Lut Desert of Iran. A temperature of 71 degrees Celsius or 159 degrees Fahrenheit was recorded in space by a NASA satellite, a machine that flies around here in space. The Lut Desert covers an area of nearly 480 square kilometers. Most of the area is covered in black rock, which increases the heat produced by the sun. It is said that no living creature like animals or plants can live in this part of the world. This is because absolutely everything will die if it tries to live and grow.
Okay, 71 degrees Celsius. Okay, so that's why nobody lives here, right? Okay, let's go now and read about the coldest place on earth. Alondra, can you help me, please?
Yes. In 1983, at the Russian Vostok base in Antarctica, scientists recorded the coldest temperature in the history of our world. At that time, the temperature reached less 129 degrees Fahrenheit or nearly 19 degrees Celsius below freezing.
Antarctica, ¿le sigo?
Yes, please.
Antarctica is a continent that nobody owns. In addition to being the coldest place on Earth, Antarctica is also the windiest, wettest, and mentioned earlier, also the driest. Most of the land is covered in snow and ice, and the coldest temperatures take place in late August because during this time there is no sunlight.
Okay. I'll read the last part. As far as we know, there are no native people living in Antarctica, but we cannot be sure. The weather is simply too harsh, so it is presently impossible for scientists to visit all parts of the continent. So then definitely there are parts in the world that nobody visits, right? Antarctica and this place in Iran, I think it's the Lut Desert. It's also another place that nobody visits because it's impossible due to the conditions of the weather, right? Okay, now read this. It says in here, you will find 6 unfinished second conditional sentences about the dry valleys, Lut Desert, and Antarctica. Complete the sentences using the information from above. The dry valleys will get snow. Okay, how is this possible? Remember that the second conditional is just to imagine things, and that's what we're gonna do here. The dry valleys will get snow if what? Dry valleys. Okay, it's just
It's about the winds.
yeah, for example, here, the dry valleys are areas between large mountains that haven't seen rain for nearly 2 million years. Even though the continent of Antarctica gets a lot of snow, the dry valleys do not, as winds are as strong as 320 kilometers per hour, remove all water and dampness from the air. So this is a real situation. The real situation is that the wind is as strong as 320 kilometers per hour that removes all water and dampness from the air. So imagining, how would it be possible to have rain? I mean, snow. The dry valleys will get snow if what? Which is our subject in this second class. Idea?
If the winds doesn't remove the water.
If the wind, okay, the wind is our subject, very good. So the dry valleys will get snow if the wind. Now, remember the second conditional structure. The first part is with would and get, we have that one. So then it means that on the other side, we need to use the past tense. So if the wind
Weren't.
weren't what? Weren't. Let's take a look again.
Are strong?
Weren't, very good. Weren't as strong as 300 kilometers per hour. We can keep like that. Weren't as strong as 320 kilometers per hour. Okay, so then is it clear what you are going to do? You are going to take a look to the sentences you have here, and you are going to go to the context of these sentences and try to find another way to say this information that is not real, right? Because we're just imagining. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So take your time, guys. Don't worry. Just remember to tell me, please, when you finish. Okay. So I won't have to be asking you like every 5 minutes. So just to tell me when you're done.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, remember to tell me when you finish, please.
Just the exercise number 2, right?
Yes.
Okay, I finished.
Okay, what about the rest of you guys?
Yes, I finished too.
I finished too.
Great. Let's go then to letter B. And I'm going to ask Alondra, what do you have in letter B?
More people will know about the driest place in the world if they were been there.
If they were being there. Okay, if they were there, could be if they were there.
Okay.
Could be also if they visited or if they lived there. But it's impossible, right? Because it's the driest place. But we're just imagining. Remember, that is the purpose of using the second conditional. Okay, letter C. Thank you, Alondra. Isela, please. Letter C.
The Lut Desert would be so hot if it were covered by black rock.
If it weren't.
Covered by black rock.
Okay, very good. Letter D. Susana, please.
Will living creatures like animals or plants in this part of the world?
Can you read it complete, please? Because I'm kind of lost.
Yes, would living creatures like animals or plants in this part of the world?
Living creatures like what?
Animals or plants?
Plants. Okay, if the Lut Desert weren't so hot, there will be
Okay,
living creatures.
okay. Will be, okay, thanks.
Okay, letter E. Jose, please.
It wouldn't be so cold in late August if there were sunlight.
Sunlight. Okay, very good. If there were sunlight. Okay. Letter F. Alondra, please.
If Antarctica's weather were not so harsh, people would live in Antarctica.
People will live there. Could be people who live there, just in Antarctica. Very good. Okay, great. Now let's go to the part 3. And the part 3 says, answer the following questions in your words about 3 places. And this is according to you based on what we read, right? So it says, what do you think most people will think about the Sahara and Gobi deserts if asked about the driest places on earth? What is a valley? Are the dry valleys only known as a dry place on earth, etc.? So we have in here 5 questions. So please take a look to them, answer them, and then we're going to discuss them together, okay?
Okay.
I finished, teacher.
Okay, what about you girls?
Me too, teacher.
Excellent. Okay, so let's talk about letter A. Jose, tell me, what do you think most people will think about the Sahara or Gobi deserts if asked about the driest places on earth?
Because Sahara or Gobi deserts are more known.
Are more known. Okay, very good. So in few words, in few words will be because they are more known. Excellent. Letter B. Alondra, what is a valley?
It is like a plain between mountains.
It's like a plain what?
Between mountains.
Between mountains. Okay. Letter C. Isela, are the dry valleys only known as the driest places, as the driest place on earth? Isela? Okay.
I'm sorry, teacher. I think I understand mal the question.
What? Wrong? You misunderstood the question?
I think the question was if was the only driest place.
But well, it's basically the same as you understood, but in this case, it's like in plural. So are they known as the driest place on earth?
Okay. No, it isn't. There have a lot of driest place, mainly in America and Africa.
Okay, they are another couple places in America and Africa. Okay, thank you. Susanna, letter D, what is a satellite?
It's in a mechanical toy that NASA used for know the world.
Okay, it's can you repeat please?
Yes, it's an mechanical toy that NASA used for know the world.
Mechanical toy that
Yes.
NASA uses for
Know the world.
Okay,
To know, yes.
okay, very good. Letter E. Jose, why are there no countries in Antarctica?
Because this land has a terrible weather.
Okay, has a terrible weather. Very good. And the last, Alondra, if Antarctica has the driest place on earth in the dry valleys, why do you think it is also the wettest?
Is by the snow and rain.
Okay. It is because of the snow and rain. Very good. Okay, great guys. This was just reading comprehension. So now we're gonna go to the last topic of grammar in this unit, which is unit 9. And it says the first and second conditionals. So everybody, please, let's go to this topic.
In grammar?
Okay, so it says in here, I never played the lottery, but my grandmother does every week. I think winning is too unlikely, but she doesn't. Okay, so I think winning is too unlikely, but she doesn't. Okay, so during this unit, we have learned about the first and the second conditional. Remember, the difference in meaning gives the speaker opinion. This is totally up to the speaker. I mean, if it is impossible for me, then I'm going to use the second conditional. If it is something possible, then I'm gonna use a first conditional. but it's according to the opinion of the speaker. It doesn't mean that it's real in like for everyone, right? Like everybody's going to have their own opinions, so everybody is free to use a first or second conditional, but we know the uses, right? First is for something possible, and second is for something impossible or unlikely to happen. So let's take a review on the first conditional. So it says, as we studied in Grammar 9.1, the first conditional expresses a real or possible situation, and the form of it is using if plus the simple present and will plus the base form of the verb. For example, if the bus doesn't come soon, I'll take a taxi home. So this is something possible. It's like, okay, I'm gonna wait 5 more minutes, and if it doesn't come soon, I'll take a taxi. I'm saying what is going to happen. Next example, will you help me if I make your dinner? It's like I'm making a deal because it's something possible, right? I mean, I make your dinner, but you will help me. Next, second conditional. Then we learn about the second conditional, and we learn that it is used to describe unreal or unlikely situations. And the structure of this is if plus the past simple, and on the other class we have would or could plus the base form of the verb. For example, if you were here with me, I'd be much happier. What does this mean? That this person probably isn't happy at all. So it's just imagining having the company of the person that is talking on the phone with, right? We could barbecue the meat if we had some gas, but we don't have gas, so it's impossible to happen it. So that's why. Second conditional for something imaginary, something unreal or impossible at the moment of speaking. And on the other hand, we have the first conditional, which is used to talk about things that are possible or possibilities, right? Well, yeah, it's the same, possible. Okay, now, first or second conditional. Which conditional you use depends on your opinion about the situation. For example, Theo asks, what will you do if it rains? I mean, I'm asking, what will you do if it rains? I'm asking for something like more possible, right? But James asks, what would you do if it rained? James is just asking, what is the difference between these two? Phil thinks rain is possible, but James doesn't. Phil uses the first one and James uses the second one. In the first example, let's say that it is very cloudy and the forecast report of the weather says that it's going to be a heavy rain in the next few hours. So then it's something possible. So we're trying to find out what we're gonna do, right? And in the second one, maybe we're just seeing like 2 or 3 clouds kind of dark in the sky, but there's nothing telling us that it's going to rain. So we're just like kind of imagining what will happen if it rained. Do you see the difference?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, teacher.
Next example, it says, Phil, I'll buy a house if I win the lottery. This person has big expectations to win the lottery. This person has probably bought many lottery tickets and is very positive about winning the lottery, and he already has the plans in case that he wins the lottery. On the other hand, we have James, and James says, I'll buy a house if I won the lottery. Now, James is just imagining as we can probably do it because, for example, James, if I compare it to Phil, that Phil is very positive and very excited about winning the lottery. James is just thinking, he probably doesn't have a lottery ticket. He's just imagining what he could do with all of this money. So Phil thinks winning the lottery is possible, but James doesn't. Phil uses the first one and James uses the second one. So you see the difference in this one? If I use a sentence with will, I mean in if, in present, it means that I'm that I'm saying it's possible. But if I use it with the second conditional, I'm just imagining. I mean, I'm not saying it's gonna happen. Is it clear the difference between the first and the second conditional?
Yes, teacher.
Yeah.
And about the structure, remember that the first conditional is with will in the result clause and present simple with if. And in the second one, remember it is past simple with the if clause and would or could plus the base form of the verb in that result clause.
Teacher,
Yes,
in this part, I have a question. Can we switch the sentence in both?
first. Yeah, in both of them, in first or second, you can switch them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's go and practice then. I'll share this exercise with you. So now you are able to open it. So it says in here, first and second conditional. Decide if the following sentences are possible, impossible, or likely. Then form a question to ask. Okay, so you just have to decide, okay? Then here, for the example, in the example here, you see a ghost in your bedroom tonight. What is this? Possible means that you consider it is possible. Impossible is that not, it doesn't happen, it doesn't exist. Or unlikely is that almost impossible, almost, but there's a very slight possibility, right? So then you're gonna make a question using the context of the sentence. The context of the sentence is, you see a ghost in your bedroom tonight. So you will need to make it a question using one of the conditionals you decide. If it is possible, then using the first one. And if it is impossible for you, then using the second one. For example, what would you do if you saw a ghost in your bedroom tonight? Okay, is it clear what you are going to do? Let's see the next example. The example says, it snows this week. Okay, so let's say that it's unlikely because it's not actually cold. Here is a place where we don't have snow, so it's unlikely. I mean, I can say impossible, but I don't know, maybe in the future we will have snow, right? So it's unlikely to happen, which means that it's like a 90% not possible. Okay, so the context is, it snows this week. So that I'm gonna make a question using the second conditional because as it says in here, it's unlikely. So the question will be, would you try to drive if it snowed this week? So is it clear what you're gonna do?
Yeah.
This is decide if it is possible, impossible, or unlikely. And then if it is impossible or unlikely, then it means that you will need to use the second conditional. But if it is possible, you will need to use the first one. Okay?
Okay.
Perfect. Work on this, guys, please.
Teacher, I finished, but I gotta go.
Okay, don't worry.
Okay,
Eh,
see
we're
you
gonna
next week.
we're gonna probably work with the second part too. So if you want to work in the second part, and that will be perfect.
The second, let me see, and the third. Okay, I try to finish the number 2 and the number 3. Okay,
Okay, okay. So I think with
Okay.
part 2 is enough, but
only
well,
part 2. Thank you. Thank
you're
you. Have a nice weeks, a nice weekends.
excellent. Same for you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, girls, ready with this part? Alondra, Susana, and Isela?
No.
Not yet. Okay, 2 more minutes.
Thank you.
What about now, girls? Done?
Yes, teacher, I'm finished.
Yes, teacher.
Great. Okay, let's go then to letter B. Okay, letter B. Isela, please. You talk to your mother or father tonight.
I think it's possible, and the question is, would you be happier if you talk to your mother or father tonight?
Okay, will you be happier if you talk to your mother or father tonight? Very good. Okay, so this one could be also only, would you talk to your mother or father tonight? And that will be okay. But I mean, it's up to you. Remember, this is according to you, okay? As soon as we are using the conditional accurately, it's good. So let's go to letter C then. Susanna, please. The temperature drops below freezing tonight.
Letter C.
Mhm.
Let me see. Wait a minute, please. I'm lost. Oh, okay, okay. Unlikely.
Unlikely, okay.
Yes.
And what will be the question?
What do you do if the temperature drops below freezing tonight?
Okay, what would you do? Is the
Okay.
temperature, because remember we're using the second conditional, we're just imagining
Oh, okay. What would you do
if the
if the
temperature
temperature drops below freezing tonight?
below freezing tonight. Dropped in past tense, freezing
Yes.
tonight. Okay, very good.
Okay.
Letter E. Alondra, please.
Your computer stops working today. I put unlikely. And the question, what would you do if your computer stopped working today?
Okay, very good. What would you do if your computer stopped working today? Very good. Letter G. Isela, it says you find money on the street.
Unlikely. And what would you buy if you found money in the street?
Okay, very good. What would you buy if you found money on the street? Good. Letter I. Susanna, please. It says you see a sandstorm this afternoon.
Unlikely.
Okay.
And would you run if you saw a sandstorm this afternoon?
Very good. Would you run if you saw a sandstorm this afternoon? Great. Okay, letter K, Alondra, it says you become president of your country. What do you think?
I put impossible. And the question, what would you do if you became president of your country?
Okay, what would you do if you became president of your country? Nice. Excellent. Okay, letter M, Isela, please. You aren't busy tonight.
Possible. And would you go dinner with me if you aren't busy tonight?
Okay, would you go to take dinner? Could be, or to eat dinner. Would you go to take dinner or to eat dinner if you weren't? But this is possible, so it is will, right? Sorry, my bad. Will you go to take dinner if you aren't busy tonight? Like this?
Yes, teacher.
Excellent. Okay. Susanna, letter O says, you catch a cold next week.
Unlikely.
Okay.
And would you rest if we're cold next week?
If you caught a cold.
Oh, okay.
Because if we say if you were cold, we're talking about the temperature. And catching a cold, we're talking about the illness.
Okay.
Okay.
I have doubt about it.
Okay. Now the second part says, choose the correct sentence to say in each situation. So we have the sentence and then we have two possible answers and you will choose that one that sounds more accurate for you, okay? So it says, you often go to a convenience store nearby to buy a sandwich. So it says you often go. It means that you, let's say you go maybe 3 times a week or I don't know, but it says you often go. So it means that it's something that you do as a routine, right? It's part of your routine. So it says you often go to a convenience store nearby to buy a sandwich. What of these two options fits more? The first one says, if I go to a convenience store, I will buy you a sandwich. Or if I went to a convenience store, I will buy you a sandwich. In this case, the first one is more accurate and related to the example or the sentence because it says that you often go, which means that it's possible that you go again, right? So that's what you're gonna do in this part. In this part, you only need to choose the one that fits more, better the sentence that you have in the letters. Is it clear what you're gonna do in this part?
Yes, teacher.
Excellent. I'll give you these minutes we have less girls for you to finish with this, but we're gonna check it in the next class, okay? So for you to not have homework, please work on this during this minutes we have left, or up to you if you wanna do it for homework, your choice. But we're gonna check it in the next class we have, okay? So
Okay.
thank you for being here.
Okay, see you.
Next Monday. Remember, I'll see you Monday and Wednesday, okay? At 6.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, girls.
Bye.